get together with records. Let's share a mellow tune. We'll play your favorite records, something you like to cruise. Let's get together with music. We'll have a lot of fun. You'll really go for the music, so let's get the show begun.
Welcome to Theme Time Radio Hour. About a year and a half ago, at the beginning of Season 2, we did a show called Hello, all about greetings. Well, ever since then, I felt a little bit off balance, like a man wearing one cufflink, or like I was walking with one foot on the curb. But today, I've regained my equilibrium. The scales will be balanced, and I will be well again, because today our show is on the subject of goodbye. It's one thing to make an entrance, it's another thing entirely to get out alive. So for the next hour, we'll be checking out the exits, finding a way out of here. So if you have sound mind and body, welcome. It's time to say goodbye. And this show might run a little long this week, but that's okay. What are they gonna do? Fire me? Besides, I've always been a big fan of The Long Goodbye. Long Goodbye is a novel written in 1953 by Raymond Chandler. Chandler's detective, Philip Marlowe, is involved in two cases that seem unconnected, but by the end of the book, they are connected, and Philip Marlowe's notion of brotherhood and morality is challenged. There's a sense of fruitlessness and disgust at the misery of the world and the depravity of modern culture. As you can imagine, it's my kind of book. Gonna start things off with a guy who didn't live long, but made a lot of music in the time he had. He made his recording debut in 1951, backing up Sonny Boy Williamson on trumpet records. His first session as a leader included a little song called Dust My Broom. Elmore James became a star. This is about from 10 years after that, on the Crown record label, Elmore James and the Broom Dusters, Goodbye Baby. That was Elmore James and the Broom Dusters. Got a vocal group backing him up. Sound like it could have been on Atlantic Records. Maybe the Clovers or something. Goodbye, Baby, here on Theme Time Radio Hour. If you don't know about Charlie Poole, this must be the first time you're listening to this program. Seek out some old episodes and you'll learn all about him and his North Carolina Ramblers. He played minstrel songs, Victorian ballads, burlesques, blues, and country. Here's one of his greatest, written by Andrew Sterling and Henry Van Tilzer. Goodbye, Sweet Liza Jane, Charlie Poole.
Look here, Liza, listen to me. You're not the gal that you promised to be. Didn't you say you'd always be true? You went out driving Mr. Brown. I'm the laughing stock of the town. People said to never trust you. Throw up your hand, babe, I'm gonna go. I was the good man while I had to go. So it's goodbye, Miss Liza. I'm going to leave you. You know when I go, I'm the fella with a do-do-do. So sing a little song, travel along, yes, travel along. Bid you good day, babe, I'm on the way. Goodbye, sweet Liza Jane. Give me here my gold watch and chain. Give me the umbrella fitted my rain. Give me the clothes that I paid for too. Dive in the trunk and hand me them things. Give me here my diamond ring and get Mr. Brown to dress you all up new. Throw up your hand, babe, I'm gonna go. I was the good man while I had to do. So it's goodbye, sweet Liza. I'm going to leave you. You know when I go, I'm the fella with a do-do-do. So sing a little song, travel along, yes, travel along. Bid you good day, babe, I'm on the way. Goodbye, sweet Liza Jane. So it's goodbye, sweet Liza, I'm going to leave you. You know when I go, I'm the fella with the do-do-do. So sing a little song, travel along, yes, travel along. Bid you good day, babe, I'm on the way. Goodbye, sweet Liza Jane.
That was Goodbye, Sweet Liza Jane by Charlie Poole. Charlie played in minstrel shows, and let me tell you a little bit about them. They were a kind of entertainment that started in the 1830s. There was this white performer named Thomas D. Rice, who went by the name of Jim Crow. He wore blackface makeup and performed songs and dances in a stereotypical imitation of American blacks. These minstrel shows were very popular, not just here but also in England, between about 1840 and 1880.
Introducing Mr. Spencer and Mr. Murray.
Hello, Lynn. What makes you look so happy this evening?
Billy, I've just had 2 large, juicy glasses of beer.
One of the most famous groups was the Christy Minstrels, not to be confused with the new Christy Minstrels. They played on Broadway for 10 years, and Stephen Foster wrote a lot of songs for them. The minstrel show was very stylized. There were exchanges of jokes between an MC, Mr. Interlocutor, and the Inman, Mr. Tambo, who played the tambourine, and Mr. Bones, who rattled the bones. There were songs, comedy numbers, soft shoe, instrumental numbers, and other forms of entertainment, like a traveling version of the variety show. They eventually disappeared by the early 20th century. Interestingly enough, there were black minstrel troops that were formed after the Civil War. They would still perform in blackface, and in general, these minstrel shows were the only theatrical medium in which black performers of the day could make a living. Everybody thinks they know this next song. They've all heard the Moody Blues sing it. Nobody knows the original version. It's written by Larry Banks, who was in a group called Three Guys and a Doll. He liked the doll so much that he married her and wrote this song for her. So here's Larry's wife, Bessie Banks, from the Tiger recording label, one of the labels owned by Lieber and Stoller. Matter of fact, they produced this record. Here's Bessie Banks and Go Now.
We've already said
to go. Oh, you had better go now. Go now, go now, go now. Before you see me cry. And I don't want you to tell me just what you intend to do now. 'Cause how many times I have to tell you, darling, 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 I'm still in love with you now. We've already said so long. I don't wanna see you go, but boy, you had better go now. Go now, go now, go now. Don't you even try to tell me that you really don't want to see it in this way now. Don't you know if you really meant what you said, darling, 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 I wouldn't have to keep on begging you, begging you, begging you, begging you to stay. Go, go now. Before the tears start to fall, I think you better go now. Go now. Before I fall down on my knees and start to falling, go now.
That was Bessie Banks and Go Now. One guy who heard the phrase Go Now again and again was Billy Martin. He managed the Minnesota Twins, the Detroit Tigers, the Oakland A's, but is perhaps most famous for being the manager of the New York Yankees. Not once, but 5 times. Again and again, George Steinbrenner said, "You better go now." They had a contentious relationship, and even though Martin won 5 division titles, 2 pennants, and 1 World Series, he was shown the door. In 1977, Reggie Jackson and Billy Martin had to be restrained from fighting in the dugout while national TV cameras immortalized the scene. In 1979, he was at the bar in Minnesota, the Hotel de France. I always think of the Hotel de France when I think of Minnesota. He was knocking him back and getting a fist fight with a marshmallow salesman named Joseph Cooper. Billy got his teeth knocked out. The marshmallow salesman needed 20 stitches, and Steinbrenner, sick of his loose cannon behavior, fired Martin again, and round it went. But at the end of his life, he was still working for the Yankees. He was a special consultant to George Steinbrenner when on Christmas Day in 1989, he was killed in a 1-vehicle accident in Fenton, New York. Billy Martin, wild man with the bat. This is Theme Time Radio Hour, thinking of new ways to say goodbye. Don't let the door hit you, where the good Lord split you. Here's Liam Tom and Pep Clancy, along with Tommy Makem, a song called The Leaving of Liverpool, 1964, on the Columbia record label, The First Hurrah.
Farewell to you, my own true love. I am going far away. I am bound for California, but I know that I'll return someday. So fare thee well, my own true love, and when I return united we will be. It's not the leaving of Liverpool that grieves me, but my darling, when I think of thee. I have shipped on a Yankee sailing ship, Davy Crockett is her name, and Burgess is the captain of her, and they say she is a floating hell. So fare thee well, my own true love, and when I return united we will be. It's not the leaving of Liverpool that grieves me, but my darling, when I think of thee. Oh, the sun is on the harbour, love, and I wish I could remain, for I know it will be some long time before I see you again. So fare thee well, my own true love, and when I return united we will be. It's not the leaving of Liverpool that grieves me, but my darling, when I think of thee.
That was the Clancy Brothers and Tommy Makem, The Leaving of Liverpool, a song from at least 1885, according to W.M. Dorflinger, who collected this song from an ex-seaman named Dick Maitland, who told him, "I was on deck one night when I heard a Liverpool man singing it. Yes, sir, that song hit the spot. It still does." Well, everybody knows how to say goodbye, but you know how to say it in Chinese? Zaijian. In Swedish, it's ajo. The Norwegians say farvu. The Russians bid adieu by saying dos piñatas, which interestingly means two piñatas in Spanish. And if you are in Spain, you would say goodbye by saying adios. The Ovations were in Memphis, Tennessee, and they said adios to a lovely senorita. Here are the Ovations. Adios, senorita.
Adios, senorita, till we meet again, my love. But I'll be returning, sure as there's a moon above. You need not worry, like I told you from the start. Darling, I'm yours completely. You're the keeper of my heart. Each day I'll miss you, darling, as I always do. Each time I kneel to pray, I'll always say a prayer for you. Adios, senorita, come and press your lips to mine. Wish I could linger longer, but I haven't got the time. When I return, dear, I'll be coming back to stay. Chapel bell will start to ringing, ringing for our waiting day. Each day I'll miss you, darling, as I always do. Each time I kneel to pray, I'll always say a prayer for you. Adios, senorita, come and press your lips to mine. Wish I could linger longer, but I haven't got the time. When I return, dear, I'll be coming back to stay. Chapel bell will start ringing, ringing for our wedding day. Chapel bell will start to ringing, ringing for our wedding day. Chapel bell will start ringing, ringing for our.
That was the Ovations. Louis Williams, Pedro Lewis, and Elvin Lee Jones. Adios, senorita. It can be expensive to say adios to a senorita. Just ask these guys. Steven Spielberg had to give Amy Irving, the mother of his son Max, $100 million as part of their divorce settlement. Neil Diamond gave $150 million to a woman he was married to. He did it cheerfully. He says she's worth every penny, and she deserved it for having borne wonderful children. Ever the gentleman, Neil Diamond. Adnan Khashoggi was a Soviet businessman who made his money as an international arms dealer for the Saudi royal family. He married a woman named Saraya in 1961. They had a wild, jet-set lifestyle. Both of them had adulterous lovers. You gotta admire the nerve of a guy who has an adulterous affair with the wife of an arms dealer. You're a better man than I. Braver, at least. They got divorced in 1982, and she got $874 million. But that's nothing compared to Rupert and Anna Murdoch. Rupert married Anna back in the 60s. They stayed together for 32 years, had 3 kids. They split in 1998. At first it was amicable, but then Rupert forced Anna off the door of a news car, and the battle began. The divorce was finalized in June of 99. Rupert was free, but it wasn't free. It cost him $1.7 billion, $110 million of it in cash. And guess what? 17 days later, Rupert got married again, this time to Wendy Dang, who was one of his employees. Good luck. I hope your kids can work it out. But if it don't work out, then you can tell her goodbye. That's very close to the title of this next song, which is, If It Don't Work Out, Then You Could Tell Me Goodbye. Came out of the United States by the Casinos with the title, Then You Can Tell Me Goodbye. But Slim Smith, who recorded the Jamaican cover version, changed it to the longer title. Slim had a beautiful voice, sang a lot of solo numbers, and also in the group's Uniques. He reached a tragic end, however, and there's a couple different versions of it. One story says that back in 1973, Slim got jealous over another singer's career. He smashed in a window with his hand and bled to death as he walked off into the night. But his singing partner, Jimmy Riley, says that Slim came home drunk from a late-night party, found himself locked out, smashed the window so he could get into his house, and bled to death before anyone found him. Here's the possibly depressed Slim Smith, and If It Don't Work Out.
Kiss me each morning for a million years. Hold me each evening at your side. Tell me you love me for a million years. Then if it don't work out, then if it don't work out, then you can tell me goodbye. Sweeten my coffee with a morning breeze. Hold me each evening at your side. Tell me you love me for a million years. Then if it don't work out, then if it don't work out, then you can tell me goodbye. But if you must go, I won't tell you no. Still we can say that we tried. But if you must go, I won't tell you no. Yet we can say that we tried. Tell me you love me for a million years. Then if it don't work out, then if it don't work out, then you can tell me goodbye. Oh, baby, if it don't work out, still I love you.
That was Slim Smith. If It Don't Work Out, Then You Could Tell Me Goodbye. A very popular cover version. Supposedly the most covered pop song is Yesterday by the Beatles, with over 3,000 versions. And then there are other songs that became number one more than once by more than one artist. There's Go Away Little Girl by Steve Lawrence and Donny Osmond. Little Eva and Grand Funk both scored with Locomotion. Shocking Blue and Bananarama both hit the top of the charts with Venus. And we can't forget Dolly Parton and Whitney Houston both recorded I Will Always Love You. As a matter of fact, Dolly Parton had a hit record with it twice. She did it in 1974 and also re-recorded it in 1982 for the Best Little Whorehouse in Texas and hit number one again.
Adiós amigos, adiós. Adiós amigos, adiós. Es hora de partir. Adiós amigos, adiós.
We told you how to say goodbye in a bunch of foreign languages. Here's one that's a little more poetic. It means go with the gods. And we told you about the people playing it before. Les Paul and Mary Ford were a dominant force in pop music. Les pretty much invented the solid body electric guitar. And before you write any letters, I know other people were involved, but there's nothing wrong with giving Les a little credit. Here he is, along with Mary Ford, and Vaya con Dios.
Now the hacienda's dark, the town is sleeping. Now the time has come to part, the time for weeping. Vaya con Dios, my darling. Vaya con Dios, my love. Now the village mission bells are softly ringing. If you listen with your heart, you'll hear them singing. Vaya con Dios, my darling. Vaya con Dios, my love. Wherever you may be, I'll be beside you. Although you're many million dreams away, each night I'll say a prayer to guide you, to hasten every lonely hour of every lonely day. Now the dawn is breaking through a great tomorrow, but the memories we share are there to borrow. Vaya con Dios, my darling. Vaya con Dios, my love. Vaya con Dios, my love.
That was Les Paul and Mary Ford, and Vaya con Dios. Her real name was Iris Colleen Summers. She was from El Monte, California, and they got the name Mary Ford out of the phone book, because Les thought that they should have the same linked name. Seems like hers is a little longer still. There are other songs that were hits even though they were sung in foreign languages. A couple of my favorites are La Bamba by Richie Valens, The Macarena, Can't Forget Santana without Como Va, Sukiyaki by Q Sakamoto, and Sticks, of course, with Mr. Roboto. Mark Knopfler and Emmylou Harris made a record a little while back called All the Road Running. Emmy Lou hails from Birmingham, Alabama, where I believe she was born in 1963. She had a military father, but quickly moved to Greenwich Village. Big fan of folk music, and released her first album called Pieces of Sky. Before that, she was involved with Graham Parsons and toured with him. She's not a slave to traditional music. She likes to stretch the boundaries, as can be proven by her album from a couple years back called Wrecking Ball. Makes her a perfect partner for Mark. He's from Glasgow, Scotland, and he studied journalism. For a while, he was on the staff of the Yorkshire Evening Post. Pretty convenient. He was able to make records and then review them himself, kind of cutting out the middleman. I always thought he was a smart fella. He's one of the few guys I know who fingerpicks an electric guitar, and he does it awful pretty, as you'll hear right now on this song, If This Is Goodbye.
My famous last words are laying around in tatters, sounding absurd. Whatever I try, but I love you, and that's all that really matters. If this is goodbye, if this is goodbye.
Bright shining sun would light up the way before me. You were the one made me feel I could fly, and I love you. Whatever is waiting for me, if this is goodbye, if this is goodbye.
Who knows how long we go, or what we're made of? Who knows if there's a plan or not? There is our love. I know there is our love.
That was Mark Knopfler, along with Emmylou Harris. If This Is Goodbye. This is Theme Time Radio Hour. We're all about goodbyes today. Fairly Wiles. Arrivederci. Hasta luego. Here's something that's more than a record. It's a dramatic slice of life in musical form. It has one of the best screams I've ever heard on record. It's by a man named Little Caesar, not to be confused with the pizza company. This guy was originally named Harry Caesar. He's from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, but he made his living in California and passed away there in 1994. He recorded this in 52 for the Recorded in Hollywood label. Here's Little Caesar and Goodbye Baby.
John, is that you, dear? Just a moment. Henry, where did you come from? How did you find me?
Ain't no need in your talking, baby.
Well, baby, can I say a word?
There's a few things I wanna say.
Well, let me say something first. Let me explain.
No, there ain't no need in your talking, baby.
Darling, what's wrong? Come on now, tell me what's
There's
wrong.
a few things I wanna say.
Well, let's talk. Come on, let's get it over with.
I told you if you ever quit me.
Quit you? I haven't quit you. What are you talking about?
You'd be sorry some more day.
Oh, baby, don't talk like that now. Come on.
I work hard all day and night.
I know you do, baby.
Cook my breakfast while you sleep.
Yes, I know you're a good man, sweetheart. I know you're good.
Yes, I work hard day and night.
I know you're wonderful, darling.
Cook my breakfast while you sleep.
You've always been good to me, sweetheart. I know it.
But when you went away with my best friend,
But, darling, I'm human after all.
that's some soul in you must read.
Oh, baby, come on now. Let's try to get along. Let's forget it. Come on now.
Now do you see this?
Henry!
What I got in my hand?
Baby, don't!
I told you this would happen if I found you with another man. Goodbye, baby.
Don't! Please don't do it,
Can't
baby.
fight these tears away.
Oh, darling, please. Please don't do it.
You're just a no good evil woman, and it's got to be this way. Goodbye, baby. Can't stay by myself.
That was Little Caesar and Goodbye Baby. You don't hear a lot of records that end with a murder-suicide, but that's definitely on the top of my list. Little Caesar was also one of the most famous movies ever made. It's called The Grandfather of the Modern Crime Film. It's from 1930 and was directed by Mervyn LeRoy, written by W.R. Burnett, who also wrote Scarface, not the one with Al Pacino. Edward G. Robinson made a great impact as Little Caesar.
Now, this is Rico. All right, see you, Rico. Little Caesar, that's who. I'm coming after you, see, and I'm going to put one in your dirty hide for every lying crack that you made about me in the paper, see? Well, you better get your hat and start running, see, because you're all through. Call up the papers and tell them that, you rotten, dirty, lying copper.
4 years later, the day of the gangster film was over, as the Hayes Production Code found these violence-prone films not suitable for the audience. Little Caesar, Public Enemy, and a whole bunch more were pulled from the market and were not allowed to be shown till 1953. This next song tells you 3 ways to say goodbye. And before we're done today, I'll tell you another dozen more. Weldon Rogers was a country singer who was a DJ in Seminole, West Texas. He recorded for Wink Lewis on his Quinn record label. Left there and started his own label. His first signing was Roy Orbison and the Teen Kings in 1956. He started playing on the Town Hall Party, and that got him a contract with Lou Chudd's Imperial record label. It actually was a bit of a cheat, however. Weldon used his friend Roy Orbison's recording of Trying to Get to You as his own. He told Lou Chudd that it was him singing. Lou hired him and recorded him in Norman Petty's studio. Backing him up were the Teen Kings, who had recently left Roy Orbison. They recorded this song, So Long, Good Luck and Goodbye. Here's Weldon Rogers, along with the Teen Kings.
Well, you can't stay home
home, all you want to do is wrong. So long, good luck, goodbye. Well, you can't be through, so now we're through. So long, good luck, goodbye. Well, I'm a-taking the train and I won't be back again. So long, good luck, goodbye. 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 Well, I'm a-taking the train and I won't be back again. So long, good luck, goodbye. Well, I just can't win, I lost to you to a friend. So long, good luck, goodbye. Now I've lost to my best friend and you. So long, good luck, goodbye. Well, I'm a-going away and I'm a-going to stay. So long, good luck, goodbye. 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 Well, I'm a-going away and I'm a-going to stay. So long, good luck, goodbye. Well, I hope love and well for yours with hell. So long, good luck, goodbye. And baby dollars for me, well, I'm happy to be free. So long, good luck, goodbye. Well, maybe someday I'll find a baby what you had in mind. So long, good luck, goodbye. 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 Well, maybe someday I'll find a baby what you had in mind. So long, good luck, goodbye. 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 So long, good luck.
That was Weldon Rogers and the Teen Kings. So long, good luck, and goodbye. In 1981, Weldon gave up performing, moved around the Texas-New Mexico area, and managed radio stations. He retired in 1989 and relocated to the Texas Panhandle. Haven't heard from him in a while. Weldon said goodbye in 3 different ways. Sometimes when people do that, they're utilizing the comedy rule of 3. The human brain looks for order and chaos, and because of that, it seeks out patterns. 3 is the smallest number of elements required to create a pattern. The comedy rule of 3 uses this. The classic joke structure is setup, anticipation, and punchline. This allows tension to build, then the punchline releases that tension. So to put it simply, the first step, name the topic. Then you set a pattern. And then third, you unexpectedly switch that pattern. Let me think of an example. This guy walks into a bar. He has a giant orange for a head. He walks up to the bartender, and the bartender, of course, is curious. The guy says to him, "You're probably wondering why I got this giant orange for a head." The bartender says, "Yes, I am." So the guy says, "I was walking on the beach, and I found a magic lantern. I rubbed it, and a genie came out. He gave me 3 wishes. For the first wish, I wished I was a millionaire. I'm watching TV that night, and they pulled the lottery number. I won $14 million. The genie asked me what my second wish was. I said I wish I could make love to the most beautiful woman in the world. So they threw this party for me because I just won the lottery, and all these beautiful women were there. This one woman, she must have been the most beautiful woman in the world, took me back to her place, and, well, you know what happened. And then it was time for my third wish. And this is probably where I went wrong. I asked for a giant orange for a head. It usually works better when you're in person. In the background is a guitarist named Oscar Aleman. He was born in northern Argentina. By the age of 10, his mother had died and his father had committed suicide. He was an orphan, working on the streets as a dancer and musician. In 1924, he met and began working with a Brazilian guitarist named Gaston Bueno Lobo, Gaston the Good Wolf. In the 1930s, they performed under the name Los Lobos. Oscar heard American jazz, fell in love with Eddie Lang and Joe Venuti, and moved to Paris, where Josephine Baker hired him to lead her band. He started his own swing band, playing stuff like you're hearing in the background. He continued playing in Paris until his national track-owned resonator guitars were confiscated by the Nazis to be melted down and used as bullets. He relocated to Buenos Aires in the early 40s and continued to record, teach, and perform in that city until his death in 1980. Well, in his honor, let's go from one Los Lobos to another. Here they are from their debut album, and the time to dance. Let's say goodnight, Los Lobos.
Baby, living from day to day. The Lord just made us this way. What can I do? You know what I've been through. It's just this world. It makes it hard for a guy and girl. But we couldn't give it over. So let's just say goodnight and go home.
There were two Liggins brothers, Jimmy and Joe. Joe had the bigger hits, but I think Jimmy had the more rockin' band. They both recorded for Specialty, and Jimmy even worked as Joe's chauffeur for a year. He must have wanted to get out from under his brother's shadow really bad, because he could hear it in the way he pushed the band. Here's one that'll give you a chapter and verse on the whole story. Jimmy Liggins and his Drops of Joy. Troubles Goodbye.
Tell all your troubles goodbye. Maybe you don't have to cry. Go jump and jive, keep alive. Tell all your troubles goodbye. Go on and have your fun. Have a ball when your work is done. Play with your baby, keep revived. Tell all your troubles goodbye. Yes, it's a lovely night. Everything's really alright. Go out and party from 5 to 5. Tell all your troubles goodbye. Lonely! Drink your lunch, a little but not too much. Don't get drunk, get groovy, get high. Tell all your troubles goodbye. Baby, now I've had my say. I'll swing until the break of day. Wine, women, song, and jive. Tell all your troubles goodbye. Blow jazz.
That was Jimmy Liggins giving you the kind of advice you usually have to pay about $125 an hour for, laid out on a couch somewhere. Jimmy's got it knocked. It's that simple. Tell all your troubles goodbye. Here's a couple of guys who had a hard time saying goodbye to their troubles. American poet Harold Hart Crane committed suicide by leaping from the deck of the SS Orizaba on April 26, 1932. His most famous work, The Bridge, depicted New York with a vibrancy that was rare in poetry. In 1931, he was awarded a Guggenheim, and you can Google that to see if I'm lying. He moved to Mexico with the money, but never made peace with the fact that he was a gay male in a culture that was mostly homophobic. A lot of people who knew him said that was one of the reasons for his suicide. He also was financially destitute. He leapt to his death because he thought he had no choices left. George Sanders, on the other hand, knew he had choices. He was an actor. He's probably best remembered for the movie All About Eve. He won an Oscar for that. He was the voice in The Jungle Book. He was in Ivanhoe, The House of Seven Gables, The Ghost of Mrs. Muir. He's known to a lot of people for playing the villainous Mr. Freeze on the Batman TV show. He was not a happy man. He had at one time 7 psychiatrists. In 1972, he was in Barcelona, Spain, and he took his life with an overdose of Numbutal. His suicide note said, "Dear world, I'm leaving because I'm bored. I'm leaving you with your words in this sweet cesspool." Too bad Jimmy Liggins wasn't available. He could have talked him out of it. People say goodbye in strange ways, especially when it comes to their wills. Heinrich Heine was a poet and a satirist in Germany. He spent years writing romantic poetry to his wife, but I guess things must have soured. When he passed away, he left his estate to his wife on the condition there's no shortage of ways to say goodbye, but Slim Gaillard still had to invent a new one. No surprise there. He was famous for creating his own language. And here's another one of his magic words. It's flagum. It means I'll dig you later. Here's Slim Gaillard.
Flagum, 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 flagum means I'll dig you later. Flagum, 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 that the ladies be around. When you get to ripping boys that glitter, mama, then you know that buddy's under the seal. Flagum, 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 flagum means I'll see you later.
Here's some other slang terms for goodbye. Catch you on the flip-flop. Check you later. Later, skater. Ta-ta for now. Cheerio. Bon voyage. So long and thanks for all the fish. Tally-ho. And see you later, alligator. can't say that without playing our good friend Bobby Charles. Here he is, from Abbeville, Louisiana. The song made a big hit for Bill Haley in the comments, but here's Bobby's version, the original version. See you later, alligator.
Well, I saw my baby walking with another man today. Well, I saw my baby walking with another man today. When I asked her what's the matter, this is what I heard her say. See you later, alligator. After a while, crocodile. See you later, alligator. After a while, crocodile. Can't you see you're in my way now? Don't you know you cramp my style? When I thought of what you told me, it nearly made me lose my head. When I thought of what you told me, it nearly made me lose my head. But the next time that I saw her, I remind her what you said. See you later, alligator. After a while, crocodile. See you later, alligator. After a while, crocodile. Can't you see you're in my way now? Don't you know you cramp my style? Said I'm sorry, pretty daddy. You know my love is just for you. She said I'm sorry, pretty daddy. You know my love is just for you. Won't you say that you forgive me? Say that you still love me too. I said, wait a minute, baby. I know you meant it just to play. I said, wait a minute, baby. I know you meant it just to play. But you know you really hurt me, and this is what I have to say. See you later, alligator. After a while, crocodile. See you later, alligator. After a while, crocodile. Can't you see you're in my way now? Don't you know you cramp my style?
That was Bobby Charles, and see you later, alligator. After a while, crocodile. Once and for all, here are the differences between alligators and crocodiles. You can't see an alligator's teeth when its mouth is closed. Its lower teeth fit snugly into pits in the upper jaw. A crocodile's lower teeth are always visible. Alligators have a brown snout. Crocodiles a thinner one. Alligators are gray as black. Crocs are like tan. Alligators like fresh water. Crocs prefer salty conditions. They have special glands in their mouth that filter out the excess salt. And they're bigger than alligators. The biggest American alligator might be 14 feet from snout to tail. Crocodiles, 20 feet long. Stay out of the way. Most people have only heard one song by Jackie Benston, and that's Rocket 88. He did a bit more. Here's one of ours liked. This time Ike Turner switches over to the guitar, takes one of his wild solos. Here's Jackie Benson, along with Ike and the Kings of Rhythm, and Later for You Baby.
The hardest thing I ever tried to do, keep you happy, get along with you. Seems like you don't want me. Now hear what I'm gonna say. Much later for you, baby. Much later for you. Much later for you, baby. Much later for you. baby. Much later for you, 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 baby.
That was Jackie Benston here on Theme Time Radio Hour, where we're looking at words of farewell.
See you in the promised land. Arrivederci, baby.
Here's a Sun record, written by Weldon Rogers' old friend, Roy Orbison. This record didn't do as well as it should have, and we'll tell you all about it after we hear it. Here's Warren Smith, and So Long, I'm Gone.
Well, I've called you for the last time. I won't hang around no more. I don't even remember the number on your door. I don't need you any longer. I don't want your devil's charm. So go cry your heart out in your other lover's arms. So long, I'm gone. You won't forget me. I hope you recall all of our fun. So long, be sweet and remember, when you want me back, think of what you've done. You've lost the guy who loved you. Don't say I didn't try. This time I'm gone forever. I've said my last goodbye. So long, I'm gone. You won't forget me. I hope you recall all of our fun. So long, be sweet and remember, when you want me back, think of what you've done. You've lost the guy who loved you. Don't say I didn't try. This time I'm gone forever. I've said my last goodbye.
That was Sun Records, number 268. Warren Smith, So Long, I'm Gone. Came out on April 15th of 57. Now, it should have been a big hit. Unfortunately, Jerry Lee Lewis had just put out a record a few weeks earlier. It was called A Whole Lot of Shaking Going On, and that record shook up the charts. It had stranglehold. Sun was a small company, didn't have a lot of money for promotion. They had to concentrate on one record at a time. They put their money behind Jerry Lee. Warren had a bit of a temper, and he became angry at Jerry Lee for the rest of his life. Whenever he heard a Jerry Lee Lewis record on the radio, he would smash the radio and throw any copies of the record he came across out the window. Warren Smith should not be confused with the Warren Commission, which was the President's Commission on the assassination of President Kennedy. It was named after its chairman, Chief Justice Earl Warren. Also on the commission were future President Gerald Ford and Red Sox shortstop Rico Petrocelli. Peppermint Harris was also on that commission. He took time off from his recording career. It was a music industry loss, judging by the song we're about to hear. Peppermint, or as I call him, Pep, was born with the name Harrison B. Nelson Jr. in Texarkana, Texas. His mentor was Lieutenant Hopkins, who brought him into the recording studio for the first time, where he recorded under the name Peppermint Nelson. Bob Shedd had a record label called Sittin' In With. It was a great-looking label. It had a drawing of a saxophone on it, and the bell of the saxophone was the hole in the middle of the record. He was the guy who brought Peppermint's early work to the masses. Unfortunately, Bob Shedd wasn't paying much attention when they told him Peppermint's name. Instead of Peppermint Nelson, he put Peppermint Harris on the label. Well, the name stuck even when Pep moved over to Aladdin Records. He was another one of those guys who did a lot of songs about drinking. I got loaded, right back on it, 3 sheets in the wind. I'm drunk, drinking some more, I'm thirsty. He quit the music industry and finally moved to New Jersey to be with his daughter and to help form the E Street Band. here he is, from the Warren Commission to E Street. Peppermint Harris. Bye-bye, fairly well.
Bye-bye, fairly well. Bye-bye, fairly well. Bye-bye, fairly well. Bye-bye, fairly well. When I get back all the time in there, way over yonder, far as I can see. Way over yonder, far as I can see. That's where I'm going, you ain't going with me. Open the window, let some air come in. Open the window, let some air come in. Got bloodshot eyes, smell like blood of gin. Bye-bye, fairly well. Bye-bye, fairly well. Bye-bye, fairly well. Bye-bye, fairly well. When I get back, all the time to tell. Shotgun. Well, it done got tired of all that who shot John. Don't go away, baby, let you have your fun. Bye-bye, fairly well. Bye-bye, fairly well. Bye-bye, fairly well. Bye-bye, fairly well. Well, when I get back, all the time to care. Bye-bye, 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 fairly well, bye-bye, fairly well. When I get back, all the time you take.
That was Peppermint Harris, and Bye-bye, fairly well. Great loose-sounding record. Really sounds like he's in it. You know what drives me crazy? I see all these pictures of rock bands in the studio, and they're very careful to make sure you can see the bottles of whiskey they have with them. They want you to know they're on the edge. You listen to their records, they don't sound like that. What's up with that? This guy, Peppermint Harris, he probably just had a couple of nips before he went into the studio, and he sounds loose as a goose. In the past, people used peppermint to chase away rats. Turns out rats hate the smell of peppermint. Peppermint also has an antispasmodic action that greatly adds to the power of relieving pains in the digestive system. Peppermint can help stop a headache. It's a stimulant, and many headache medicines contain stimulants like peppermint. It's popular in gum, candies, and is used to disguise the tastes of bitter medicines. Nowadays, peppermint's perhaps most famous for its appearance in White Stripes memorabilia.
This is Ellen Barkin. It's time to go on Theme Time Radio Hour with your host, Bob Dylan.
Here's the Jamaica Duke, accompanied by his band, the Mentospheres, featuring Olio Gonzalez on clarinet, Charles Harrison on banjo, Bernal Vassal on violin, Percy Gale, my favorite maracas player, other than Jerome Green, Alwood Stanford on guitar, Paul Wilson on bass, and Sidney Gregory on bongos. Let's hear them mix it up on the Lord Bridges song, Jamaica Farewell.
Down the way where the night's so gay and the sun shines daily on the mountain top, I took a trip on a sailing ship, but when I reached Jamaica, I made a stop. Sad to say, I'm on my way. I won't be back for many a days. My heart is down, my head is turning around. I have to leave a little girl in a Kingston town. Sound of laughter everywhere while the dancing girls going to and fro. I must declare my heart is there, though I've been from Maine to Mexico. Sad to say, I'm on my way. I won't be back for many days. My heart is down, my head is turning around. I have to leave a little girl in a Kingston town. market you can hear ladies cry out while on their heads they bear. Ackee rice and fish are nice, but the rum is fine any time of year. As I say, I'm on my way. I hope this will follow me many a days. My heart is down, my head is turning around. I have to leave a little girl in a Kingston town. Sad to say, I'm on my way. I won't be back for many a days. My heart is down, my head is turning around. I have to leave a little girl in Kingston town.
That was a Jamaican Duke and the Mental Swingers, Jamaican Farewell.
Then have you noticed this? Sometimes you'll get in a rut with the way you say goodbye. Whether I need to or not, every month I start using a different phrase. Now I say farewell. Farewell till we meet again. Peace be with you. May the forces of evil become confused on the way to your house. Or sometimes you can combine several ways to say goodbye that don't seem to go together, like toodaloo, go with God, and don't take any wooden nickels.
Duke Ellington and Billy Strayhorn wrote our next song. It's recorded by Duke's band back in 1932. Ivy Anderson handles the vocals. Duke found her when she was singing with Earl Hines. Stole her away. Before that, she was the vocalist at the Culver City Cotton Club. And as early as 1928, she toured Australia with Sonny Clay and his band. But she's best known for the work she did with Duke. Here they are together again. I'm checking out Goombye. That's Goombye with an M.
Is this you? I thought I'd phone you. I hope you ain't sick, 'cause I'm checking out Goombye. Nice to have known you. You were my big kick. But I'm checking out Goombye. You tried an old trick. You found a new chick. But I was too slick. I'm in the know, you got to go, the cake is all dough. It's too bad our bliss had to miss out like this. I'm checking out Goombye. But I was too slick. I'm in the know, you've got to go, the cake is all dough. It's too bad I had to miss out like this. I'm cutting out, old man, I don't dig you.
That was Duke Ellington, along with Ivy Anderson. I'm checking out Goombye. You're listening to Theme Time Radio Hour. We're all about goodbyes today. Here's one I almost forgot. It's Lead Billy, and good night, Evine.
As your mother for you, she told me that you was too young. I wish the Lord that I never seen your face. I'm sorry you ever was born. Irene, good night. Good night, Irene, and good night, Irene. I guess you in my dream. Sometimes thou lives in a country. Sometimes I live in town. Sometimes I have the great notion. jump into the river and drown. Irene, good night. Irene, good night. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. I get you in my dream. Stop rambling and stop gambling. Quit staying out late at night. Go home to your wife and your family. Sit down about a fireside bright. Irene, good night. Irene, good night. Good night, Irene, and good night, Irene. I get you in my dream. Hello, Irene, God knows I do. Love her till the sea run dry. If Irene turns her back on me, I'm gonna take morphine and die.
That was Harry Ledbetter, better known as Leadbelly. And good night, Irene. Let's go to the phones. Love taking phone calls. Reminds me of how many people are out there. Oh, line 2's ringing. Hello, caller, you're on the air.
Hey, Bob. How you doing?
I'm good, thanks. What's your name and where you calling from?
My name's Morgan Treat, and I'm calling from Montreal, Canada.
What can I do for you, Morgan?
Well, Bob, I've been listening to the Goodbye Show.
Are you enjoying it?
Well, not really.
What's the matter?
I really don't like goodbyes. I mean, every relationship I've had seems like I'm the one that leaves. I just can't stand someone saying goodbye to me. And I don't like to say goodbye either. I go to sleep before the sun goes down. I wake up before the sun comes up. Don't like to see the end of a movie. I usually walk out about halfway through. Won't read the end of a book. I've never even had dessert. I just hate goodbyes.
Well, Morgan, you got a serious problem. What are you running from, buddy?
I'm not running, Bob. I just hate goodbyes.
Well, listen to me. You gotta learn how to say goodbye. You gotta have closure. You gotta shut the doors. Otherwise, you're gonna be hunted by ghosts. You're gonna have that half-finished feeling all of your life. You're never gonna feel you're on solid ground. And you're never gonna have a worthwhile relationship. Take my advice, Morgan. Learn how to say goodbye. Morgan? Hello? Hello, Morgan? Oh, Morgan. There's no helping some people.
When we pay a visit, we enjoy each minute so. But after we have stayed a while, it's time for us to go. We thank them for the lovely time, on that they can rely. We thank them as we're leaving. Then we say goodbye, goodbye, and thank you. Goodbye, and thank you. Goodbye, and thank you. We had a lovely time.
We're just about at the end here. It's time to sing so long. Here's Lee Dorsey.
For me, yeah.
remember, baby, that I love you the best. I gotta go now, children.
That was Lee Dorsey and So Long on the Amy record label here on Theme Time Radio Hour. It's hard to say goodbye, even on a goodbye show. Gonna end things with a song by Woody Guthrie. Woody wrote this next song after the great dust storms of the 30s. Those storms came hot on the heels of a drought and blew away the topsoil, ruining the lifeblood for many families of the Great Plains. Many people lost their homes, many people were out of work, money was tight, life was hard. Woody had this to say: I heard folks talk and cry about the dust storms all out across our 16 Midwest states. I saw that lost gone look on their faces when they told me the government didn't follow the plan of FDR. And so our land was still a dust bowl, hit by dust storms. Dust storms are getting higher and wider and meaner, and the hearts of the people are getting sickly worried. I am made out of this dust and out of this fast wind, and I know that I am going to win out on top of both of them if only my government and my office holder will help me. I'm gonna let Woody sing it for you. This is Dusty Old Dust, or as you might know it better, So Long, It's Been Good to Know You.
I've sung this song, but I'll sing it again, of the place that I lived on, the wild windy plains, in the month called April, county called Gray, and here's what all of the people there say. So long, it's been good to know you. So long, it's been good to know you. So long, it's been good to know you. This dusty old dust is getting my home, and I've got to be drifting along. A dust storm hit, and it hit like thunder. It dusted us over and it covered us under, blocked out the traffic and blocked out the sun. Straight for home all the people did run, singing so long, it's been good to know ye. So long, it's been good to know ye. So long, it's been good to know ye. This dusty old dust is getting my home. I've got to be drifting along. We talked of the end of the world, and then we'd sing a song and then sing it again. We'd sit for an hour and not say a word, and then these words would be heard. So long, it's been good to know ye. So long, it's been good to know ye. So long, it's been good to know ye. This dusty old dust is getting my home, and I've got to be drifting along. Sweethearts sat in the dark and sparked. They hugged and kissed in that dusty old dark. They sighed and cried, hugged and kissed. Instead of marriage they talked like this: honey, so long, been good to know you. So long, it's been good to know you. So long, it's been good to know you. This dusty old dust is getting our home, and I've got to be drifting along. Now the telephone rang and it jumped off the wall. That was the preacher making his call. He said, kind friend, this may be the end, and you've got your last chance at salvation of sin. The churches was jammed and the churches was packed, and that dusty old dust storm blowed so black. Preacher could not read a word of his text, and he folded his specs and he took up collection, said, so long, been good to know ye. So long, it's been good to know ye. So long, it's been good to know ye. This dusty old dust is getting my home, and I've got to be drifting along.
That was Woody Guthrie, and So Long, It's Been Good to Know You. And it has been good to know you this past year. Here we are at the end of another season. May you have warm woods on a cool evening, a full moon on a dark night, and a smooth road all the way to your door. When we head on down to Elmo's Lounge, we're having our rap party there. Samson's Diner is catering. If you happen to be driving by and the light is still on, come in and have a drink. It'll be good to see you. In the meantime, see you later. So long. And And don't ever forget, every goodbye is the birth of a memory. Splagum.
Now that you're relaxed, the best on wax, we'll call it a day. Look us up again, the records will spin when we come your way.